Companies Act 2013. As I discussed, this act also has come by that Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, President assent, again official gazette notification. There is one date which is specified in the act, that is 1st April 2014. Uh, so why it is 2013 act? Because the act passed in 2013 but made effective from 2014. I said if the date is mentioned in the act that it will be becoming effective from that date. President signed on 10th, but they said it will be effective from 15th. That is what it happened. It has become effective from 1st April 2014, but it has passed in the parliament and assented by the president in 2013 only. And the idea of bringing the new law has also started in 2013. So, sir, whatever we are studying, we said the act should be passed in the parliament. Is it the same content passed in the parliament? See, we are seeing meaning and definition. The word company is derived from Latin and originally referred to an association of persons who took their meals together. Does this mean that each and every line, each and every word, whichever we are studying here, is it passed in the parliament? See, these lines and words has been modified for the purpose of easy understanding and easy remembering. But the parliament will not pass such a local language. This is totally local language. It will not be accepted in the parliament. Parliament has a sophisticated language. You know how Shashi Tharoor talks? You know who is Shashi Tharoor? He is one MP. You go and listen to his speeches. You will never understand his English. Even Harvard educated people also will think, oh, what is trying to talk. So great English. The same way, similar content is also passed in the parliament. Sir, how do we come to know whether it is passed in the parliament or not? There are, because it is a law which is related to the companies, there are multiple ministries. One ministry which is concerning this is Ministry of Corporate Affairs. There is Ministry of Finance also, there is Ministry of Defense also. If I take under Government of India, there are multiple ministries. Maybe Ministry of Finance is also there. Ministry of Agriculture is also there. Ministry of Railways is also there. Ministry of Corporate Affairs is also there. Ministry of Corporate Affairs is the only concerned ministry for our entire Companies Act discussion. Under Ministry of Corporate Affairs, we have mainly one organization or one department. We call it as Regional Directorate. Regional Directorate means for South Indian region there is one directorate, for North Indian region there is one more directorate. See, this Ministry of Corporate Affairs is entirely India. There is only one ministry. It is a central government ministry. As of now, it is headed by who? Nirmala Aunty. Ministry of Finance is also handled by her, as well as Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Both the ministries are handled by her. So this regional directorate is for one for South India, one for North India. Everything is there. Under this regional directorate, there is something called as ROCs. ROC. We call it as Registrar of Companies. What do you mean by Registrar of Companies? Whenever a company gets or wants to incorporate, whenever the company wants to change its name, whenever the company wants to change the director's name, whenever the company wants to change the business, the way it is doing, or whenever the company wants to close its business, whenever the company wants to expand its business, anything there, that has to be intimated to one department called as Registrar of Companies. It is the moment it is intimated to Registrar of Companies (ROC), it is as good as we intimated to RD. It is as good as we intimated even to the MCA, because everything is working under the same hierarchy. So, under when I say ROC, ROC is one for each state. These regional directorates are, there are totally 4 RDs in India, and these ROCs are totally one for each state except Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra, where they have 2 for each state. In Karnataka, we have only one, that is in Bangalore. In Tamil Nadu, they have two ROCs. One is in Coimbatore, second one is in Chennai. In Maharashtra also, they have two ROCs. One is in Pune, second one is Mumbai. Two ROCs. Sir, why? Because they felt the businesses, the companies are too huge, because of which they set up two separate ROCs. Now, whenever a company want to incorporate, they have to go to ROC, make an application, pay some fees, comply with the documents, get it registered, and you can conduct the business. We will discuss that incorporation procedure. So, coming back, as I said, there is one ministry. We will directly type as MCA. If I type as MCA, this is the main website. Is it visible? If you check there, there are so many places, so many things about MCA is there, acts and rules, my workspace application, services, additional service, data, all those things are. But what is important for us is this acts and rules. The moment I click there are multiple tabs again here. Acts are rules, so many things are there. Out of which, whatever the acts which are applicable under MCA are totally listed here. One is Companies Act 2013, LLP, that is also there under your section 1, section A. Again, IBC not there for you. You will be learning it in finals. Competition Act, Partnership, CA Act, CS Act, CMA Act, Society Registration Act, Companies Donation and what is that? National Funds Act. So many acts are there. Along with those acts, there are certain rules which are framed by the Companies Act also, the CMA Act also, CA Act also, CS Act also. Every act has formed. So if I click on the Companies Act 2013, it opens this way. That means if you look at the left side, there are so many things here. Sir, what are you trying to tell? I am trying to tell whatever this Companies Act is there, Act 2013, has been passed in the Parliament on some day. We will see that date exactly. I don't remember that date. And that Companies Act has been totally divided into 29 chapters. What do you mean by 29 chapters? Okay, 29 chapters and 470 sections. Along with that, they even have 7 schedules. Sir, what is the schedules? We'll see it later. See, totally Companies Act they passed for private company something, for public company something. How do we incorporate a company? Related to company, they passed everything. Generally, everything is passed by sections. Section number 1 for this, section number 2 for this. Along by that way, they have totally 470 sections. But that 470 sections has been divided into 29 chapters. First 1 2 sections is for chapter 1. Next 20 sections is for second chapter. That means it is a bifurcation. It is like the summary of that entire thing. If you look at their material, this is amended as per 2020. Chapter number 1 preliminary. If I click on that, there are 2 sections. One is short title, extent, commencement, and application definition. You don't need to learn it in depth, but you just have a look into it. Chapter 2 is from section number 3 till section number 22. It is there. Again, the same way it goes till chapter number 29, miscellaneous things. After those things, we have totally 7 schedules. Schedule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you want to see Companies Act 1956 old one, you can have a look into it. Now, have you studied? Have you prepared any balance sheet? Format of balance sheet is as per what? As per Schedule 3. Have you seen that? Listen to that word. That Schedule 3 means whatever schedules we have seen, right? 7 schedules. Out of which, in the third schedule, they have prescribed how the balance sheet should be there. Have charged the depreciation, SLM method, WDV method. That is as per which schedule? That is as per Schedule 2. Depreciation has to be calculated as per Schedule 2. Which Schedule 2? As per Companies Act Schedule 2 only. If I go there, you might not know all those things. If you see there, Schedule 3 is there. General instructions for preparation of balance sheet statement of profit and loss of a company division 1. Second one is for division 2. Then third one is for division 3. There are three divisions for balance sheet. Balance sheet and P&L, every format. Sir, what do you mean by three division? You know, there is something called as accounting standards. For those company which are following AS has to prepare balance sheet and P&L as per division 1. You know, there is something called as Ind AS. It is an advanced version of the accounting standards. The company which is having a net worth of 250 crores or more are listed companies, they have to follow that Ind AS. Those companies which are following Ind AS has to prepare their balance sheet and P&L as per schedule 2. Do you know something called as NBFC? Bajaj Finance, Muthoot Finance, all those are like banks, but they are not banks. SBI is a bank. What does bank do? It will accept the deposit from the public. It will give the loans to the public. But NBFC can give the loan, but it cannot accept the deposits. When I say accept the deposits, I'm talking about savings account and current account deposits. Sir, can they accept fixed deposit? As fixed deposit, there is no limitation. Can they accept recurring deposits? Yes, they can accept that also. There is no limitation. But the main difference between bank and NBFC is NBFC cannot accept demand deposits. Demand means current account deposits as well as savings account deposits, whatever the bank account we have. Those NBFC has to prepare balance sheet and P&L as per division 3. Accounting standard, Ind AS and NBFCs. And if you look at schedule 2, useful life to compute depreciation, part A, again part B and again part C. There are certain items which are listed in part A. For example, electronic equipments, computer, laptop, or tab, or mobile phone. Or for SLM method that is given under part B, again under part C, they have given different things. Whenever we say as per schedule 1, schedule 2, schedule 3, all those schedules as per Companies Act only. Nothing but there is no other schedules. Unless until you are learning a specific act. For example, if I use the word schedule 2 as per Income Tax Act, then don't come for this Companies Act. I am specifically referring to those provisions under income tax. If I say schedule 1 as per GST Act, then that is as per GST Act, not as per this act. Understood? Not for examination, but just remember. If I click on this chapter 1, preliminary, first one is short title, extent and commencement of the application. If you look at the language, how the language is used here, just for reference. Short title, extent and commencement and application. Section 1, subsection 1, they're talking. This act may be called as Companies Act 2013. That's it, subsection 1. Subsection 2 says it is applicable to whole of India. It extends to whole of India. Earlier it is stating it extends to whole of India except Jammu and Kashmir. Because that Jammu and Kashmir earlier is having a separate constitution. As we have separate, they also have had separate. Now it is removed. Then third one, the Companies Act has come into force and such date as central government may by notification in the official gazette appoint and date appointed by the provisions whenever they have notified in the official gazette, from that date it has become notified. And this Companies Act shall apply to all the companies which are incorporated under this act, previous act, any type of things they tell you. That is what section 1. Not important. We will come to our material. Anybody understood or anybody did not understood that? Some out of the box discussion. Now we will begin with the main content. Whatever we discuss now, that is important for examination. See, because you are having MCQ 30 marks, it becomes very important to understand each and every word, or at least remember each and every word. Now, Companies Act 2013. What is Companies Act? Where did the word this Companies Act has come? Is it an Indian act? Is it an Indian word, company? No. See, whatever the act is there, it has come from 1956. This 2013 has come from 1956. That 1956 has come from 1908. That 1908 has come from 1850, 1860 something was there. That means it is entirely a British act. We have a company which is what 100 years old, but the Britishers has a law which is 200 years old, where the evolution of companies started, where they started with some physical activity, then they again introduced some technology, they again shifted to electronic these things. Maybe Flipkart is also a company, Amazon is also a company, every type of company doing electronic business also, e-business. So company means it is a Latin word. It is a Latin word. The meaning derived is by it is a combination of two words. One is com, second one is panis. Companies act. Act means it is a law, we know it. Com and panis. Com means what? Hmm? Together. Panis means bread. What is bread? Bun. No. In foreign, they call food as bread. Whenever you watch some English movies, did you have had your bread? That means roti, chapati, everything is called as bread only there. Even whenever you go to some cuisine, multi cuisine, they say Indian breads. Indian bread does not mean they give the bread. They give tandoori roti, they give kulcha, they give chapati, all those things. Bread means food. They generally call. What used to happen is before. I am talking about 19th century. Now we are in 21st century. I am talking about 19th. Everybody was to do the business. Normally I used to sell something, they also used to sell something, but how to do the business, it is there is no such thing like strategic management, there is no such thing like training. The only thing which they have had is the festivals. What is festivals? Generally whenever the people are running the company, running the business for the purpose of festival, anyway we also go to our native place and we also meet the same way. Every person in the family used to meet at one place and used to have that food. Whenever they're having that food, they used to discuss the business, and because of that people are coming together for the purpose of having food, and in that situation they are discussing the business matters. They gave the word called as company. Company means come and punish. Together having food is called as common punish. You should remember this because it is important for examination. And they'll ask the company is derived from dash language. It is a dash word. It is a Latin word, Latin language. Two MCQs are discussed here. You see there. The word company is derived from the Latin. Com means with or together. Panis means the bread. Bread means you can write it as food. And originally referred to an association of person. What do you mean by association of person? Two persons are meeting, we call it as association of two persons. Three persons are meeting, association of three persons. Association means meeting of the people who took their meals together. So that is why it has called as companies, and because it is passed in the parliament, we are calling it as act. So companies act, because it is passed in 2013, companies act 2013. So there is one more word, I'll discuss that. It is also called as body corporate. One word we discussed as company. Second one is body corporate. What is body corporate? To understand what is body corporate, we have to discuss the definition of Companies Act. Company. What is company as per Companies Act? See, whatever I said, company means it is coming together for the purpose of having bread. It is not as per Indian Act. It is the origination. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ start ಆಗಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಕತ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. But what is company as per Companies Act 2013? As per Companies Act 2013, as per Companies Act 2013, as per section 2 bracket 20. So what is this section 2 bracket 20? I'll take a minute and I'll come back to it. See, when I say this Companies Act divided into chapters, 29 chapters are there, and the 29 chapters again containing section 1 2 under the first chapter, again 3 4 5 till 22 second chapter. This chapter again subdivided into sections, and these sections is subdivided into subsections. What is subsection? Consider I want to talk about something, but it contains some 10 matters in that. So I will divide 10 matters into 10 subsections. Mainly private company, section number 2 or consider 42, private placement, under which I discuss multiple things under the multiple points. And if I want to elaborate those subsections even more, then we use the word clauses. Even if I want to elaborate those clauses also, sub clauses. Then comes other things, rules, provisions, what is that? Provisos, exceptions. I'll not discussing that. So as of now, what I want to convey is, if you see, sections are compulsory for everything. One section may have subsection, may not have subsection. It doesn't matter. Section is compulsory. Without section, you cannot talk anything about company. And the clauses, maybe there may not be there. But sir, why did you tell that? Here they have written it as section 2 bracket 20. How do we read that? Because I did not introduce these words, I am reading it as section 2 bracket 20, but that is not the actual language of reading. Either I should read it as section 2 subsection 20 or section 2 clause 20 subsection. For that, you should understand what is the difference between subsection and clause. Subsection and clause. For that, we will go to the act again. If you see here, there is section 2. Section 2 is there, out of which subsection 1 is there, subsection 2 is there, as per you. Subsection 3 is there, again subsection 4 is also there. It goes till 90, I think. 1991 it is there. It is not required to be remembered. 95 are there. What is this 95? Just have a look into it. See, first one is talking something about abridged prospectus. Don't ask what is it. You will learn it in the future classes. But just remember there is something called as a prospectus. Sir, when it will be used? Whenever the company want to issue the shares to the public, by way of IPO, FPO, initial public offer, then they have to give one prospectus. They have totally 4 types of prospectus, out of which one is abridged prospectus. This is one content. If you see, second thing they're talking about accounting standards. Accounting standards are what? How do you prepare your financial statements? How do you value your inventory, cost or NRV, whichever is lower? Something you have to do. Balance sheet should be this format. PPA should be, depreciation should be. This is how you have to calculate. If you look at third one, alteration. Just for first 3 only, abridged prospectus is there, accounting standard is there, alteration is there. Are the 3 related? They're totally different. That means under section 2, there are certain matters. Under section 2, there are certain matters which are not related being discussed. Right? I'll take one more section. Section 3 only I'll take. Not section 3. I'll take your section only. Section number 148 I'll go. Sir, why 148? Because that is important for you people. Cost audit. It is related to cost audit, section 148. If you see, here also there is 1, here also there is 2. The same way there are till 7, 8 sub things are there. If you see there, first one, they're just talking about, don't look at the content. They have to maintain the books of accounts regarding the other items of the cost. That means how much you made payment to labor, how much you purchased the raw materials, how much you paid for rent, anything with respect to the cost you have to maintain. First one. Second one also, if you see there, it is also related to cost records. First one is also for cost records. Second one is also for cost records. If you look at third one, it is also related to cost audit. Who will conduct the cost audit? It is conducted by a cost accountant. If you look at the fourth one, again In addition to section 143 audit, they also have to conduct this audit also. Cost audit they have to conduct. If you look at section subpart 5, that is also talking about cost records. That means entirely this section is entirely talking about the cost records only. If you look at section 2, they're talking about unrelated things. If you look at 148, they're talking about related things. So what are you trying to tell? Whenever a section has some subparts which are related, like section 148, we call these things as subsections. Whenever a section has certain subparts which are unrelated, we call it as clauses. Mainly section 2, we always containing the clauses. Always means always. In simple terms, whenever the definition section is there, the definition section is a clauses section, because they entirely talks about the different things. Sir, why do they talk about different things? Just now I said there are 470 sections here. How the act is being framed? Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, everybody, how the act will frame? They first decide what are the content to be framed. First frame the section number 1, short title, extent, commencement, all those things. They leave section 2 gap. They don't touch section 2. They start with section 3. Formation of company, incorporation, MOA, EOA, everything they start, and they finish the entire act. Till 470 section they finished. After finishing, they come back and they'll see. Section number 3 contains something. Okay, what does it contain? Abridged prospectus. What is abridged prospectus? Can a common man understand what is abridged prospectus? No, we have to define it. Come back to section 2. They take that word, define that. Again, go further. They found one more thing called as alteration. What is alteration? Can somebody understand easily? No. We have to define it. What is alteration as per our intention? They again come to section 2. Then again, they define it. That means the section 2 is the section which is framed at the end of the act. Just because the words 2 is number 2 is there, it doesn't mean that it is immediately after first section. No, it is at the end. Under certain acts, definitions are defined under section 3. It doesn't matter whatever the sections are there. You just remember definition section always contain the clauses. It will never contain the subsections. Except a definition, everything is containing subsection. Section 3 subsection 1, section 10 subsection 2. But section 2 class 20, whenever the section 2 comes, it always succeeded with clauses only. It will never be succeeded by subsections. Only in case of other than definition section, it will have a subsection. You will understand whenever I use that phrase. Section 2 class 20, section 10 subsection 5. I use this way. You have to pay attention to my language. That is important. Shall we continue? So, as we have these things, they defined company in section 2 class 20. Sir, why class 20? Why not class 1? Why not class 2? Anybody has doubt? You should have any kind of silly doubts also. You should be like, sir, I know law in and out. How to read the law, how to remember the law, how to interpret the law. Why they use this way? Why are they not using that way? Because the 20 has come because company means the word company starting with the C. The definitions are defined in alphabetical manner. Whatever the words which are there in A will be defined first. After A again B comes. After B again C comes. Because of which it has come in that thing. If you see there, clause 4 is A. Again, clause 5 is regarding the audit only, but they started with something else. Again, clause 6 is A. Again, this is also alter. Again, any default. Again, those things are there. If you come there, we are seeing something else. 148 we are seeing, not those things. These things. One is abridged prospectus. Second one is accounting standard, alter, affiliate, articles, associate, auditing standards, authorized capital. A is completed now. Till clause 8, A words are defined. Then banking company, board of directors, body corporate. Again, book and paper, books and accounts. See, don't look at these Roman numbers. Books of accounts. Then branch of office. B again. B is completed. Then C started. Sir, when the C started, why did not they define company immediately? Because the CO, company means O, second letter is O. There are certain words which are starting with C, A, B. A is the first letter, so called up capital. A admele B nothing is there, C is nothing there. Then they came to H. Then they defined chartered accountant. Then they defined chief executive officer CEO, CFO. Then came company. E F G H I J K L nothing there. M N nothing there. Directly O. That is beautifully drafted. It is in alphabetical manner. First alphabet matching. Then look at the second alphabet. Even the second alphabet matching till good till where the difference is there. That is how the act is formed. So you have to remember this section number, very very important. As per section 2 bracket 20, or I'll just directly use the word 2 class 20 of the Companies Act 2013. Without writing this Companies Act 2013, it will not have any value. 2 class 20 of what section? What act? Is it a Gratuity Act? It is Companies Act 2013 specifically. Because under Companies Act 1956, company defined under some other subclass. As per Companies Act 2013, Section 2, Class 20, they just say, company means a company incorporated under Companies Act 2013 or under any previous company law. Under any previous company law. There are three things here. Actually, I don't want to touch those things, but I'll just give a glance. Company, the first word we have to understand is means see first one or two class it will go very slow because I wanted to put the foundation. If you have that foundation in the every class, I don't need to tell what is A, what is B, what is means, what is includes. I want to put those bases here only. Whenever I tell something, whenever I write something, I expect you also to write them either in the book or in some rough note anywhere. First word we have to discuss is means. Second word we have to discuss is A. Sir, is it English class or is it law class? English with law or law with English? Company means a company, then incorporated under Companies Act 2013 or under any other previous company law. We have three things to discuss now. On a general note, I'll just say to call you as a company, you should be registered under this Companies Act 2013 or you should be registered under any act which was there before 2013. Consider 1956 Act or maybe 1908, any other act related to company law, not other income tax act, not other GST act. If you are registered under those acts, you are not a company. To call you as a company, either you should be registered under 2013 Companies Act or under any other previous company law. If the definition is asked, what is company in the examination for 2 marks, you just write as per section 2 class 20. Company means a company which is registered under Companies Act 2013 or any previous company law. That's it. I know there is so much of inefficiency in this definition. I will discuss that later, but we will discuss the contents here first. See there, what is means, what is A and what is incorporation. This incorporation word, I'll just write it as registration. Registration. You also have registered under CMA by paying some 25,000 rupees fees. That means you have become CMA student now. The same way, to call you as a company, you also has to get registered under Companies Act 2013. Where you will get go and register, there is something called as ROC, Registrar of Companies, not register. Register means it is a book, ledger register or purchase register, not that register. Registrar, RAR, Registrar of Companies, who will oversee everything with respect to company. See, whatever the words I'm using, I know I am using so many words on a day 1, day 2 basis. But all these words are again being repeated. At least some 20, 30 times you will hear these words. ROC, registration, incorporation, means, A, and all those things. First day it feels like, okay, something is happening. Just be with my flow. and revise after the class. For first 4 class, you whenever you be with me, see what happens in every whenever I take the lives. Those people who sit for first 4 to 5 classes, they're like chill for the remaining classes. Those people who will not understand the first 4 classes, he's trying to tell something, but I'm not able to get. Either they'll be becoming like they're very intellectual, Einstein, that who is that? Thomas Alva Edison. Like they feel like they know everything because of those 4 classes. This 4 class has very great effect. Try to pay as much attention as possible. Don't try to leave out anything. I'm not understanding. No, you should ask because these 4 classes are base. At least for 3 class. One is already over. I discussed few things that Finance Act is how it is made, non-finance bill, Lok Sabha, Raj Sabha. Few things I discussed. Now I'll discuss as and when the content comes means A and all those things. Incorporation means registration as of now. You just remember. Now I have to discuss 2 things. One is, see, it is not part of the curriculum to discuss. But why I am discussing is because I don't want my students to tell that I don't know what is means. I don't know what is A. The first word is means. Second word is A. Sir, why are we discussing? There is one more word also. I am talking about the second letter, D. Company means in the definition, what is there? A company which is incorporated under this act or any other previous company law. Why did they use the word A company? Why they did not use the word the company? There is the also. They could have used company means the company which is incorporated under this act or any other previous company law. Why they did not use the word the? Why they use the word A? Is there any difference between the and A? Yes, what is the difference? Yes, yes, continue.
A is which use it commonly, and the B is only for this specific reason.
Okay.
Like, for example, the Ganga River, it is specified. A company is not only the one thing. It is generally comes to the all, so it is used as A.
Okay.
A company consists of different types of company based on the law, liability, and other forms of company. So it is commonly defined as a company, not specifically as the company.
Okay. If I say, I the Ganga River, I'll take one more example. Prime Minister. We represent the Prime Minister as the Prime Minister because there is only one position in India. And even if you want also, you can refer the President, the Chief Minister, the Governor, but you don't call it as the MLA. AMLA. We call it as AMLA because we have in Karnataka only we have around 225 MLAs. So whenever we are describing something which has only existence with respect to only one element in the whole existence, or at least wherever the law is applicable, we use the word the. The means consider I have started a company. Consider Veeraj Private Limited. Veeraj Private Limited. This is what my company name. For me, my company is the company because I have only one company. But for ROC, for government, it has many companies. I went and started private company. There is one more boy called as MA. Who is that MA? MA does not mean buffalo. MA means Mukesh Ambani. He started something called as Reliance Limited, not private limited. That means for him, he want earlier it is Reliance Private Limited. Now they are converted to Reliance Limited. What is this limited? There is a difference between private limited and limited. One is private company, second one is public company. We will again discuss that whenever the section 7 comes. There is one person called as AA. Who is AA? Anant Ambani Allah, Anil Ambani, not Allu Arjun. Anil Ambani started Reliance Media Private Limited, OPC. There is one more type of company which you want to start, one person company. OPC means one person company. We know for every private company at least 2 members are required. For public company 7 members are required. But there is one more type of company where even a single person can also start. That type of company is called as OPC. We will discuss those types of company. Don't think that we are discussing the content here only. I'm just giving the references. So for government, it does not matter whether you register private company, whether you come and register public company, whether you come and register OPC or charitable company, or maybe dormant company, or maybe government company. It doesn't matter. There are multiple types of company. That is why if you want to call your company as a company, you have we have to register under ROC, Companies Act 2013. How do you register? It doesn't matter for us. That is why I'm using the word a company. You can be a private company, you can be a public company, you can be a OPC, you can be a Section 8 company. It doesn't matter. That is why the word A is being used here. A is means we call it as a generality. It is referred for every type of company in generality. Any type of company can come here. If I say company means the company, that means only I'm referring to one type of company, maybe private, maybe public, maybe OPC, maybe section company. That is not how the company is defined. That is why the word A is used here. D is not the perfect word. What is means? Means fish. Mean tawa fry, fish fry. What is means? There is one more word. There is one more word called as includes. One is means, second one is includes. What is means and what is includes? Have you heard about the words include? What includes? Whenever sometimes they are writing, uh, this includes A, B, C, D, or sometimes in the company only they said company means a company, means and includes. What is means?
Include is which is additional for the topic we have
Mhm.
talking.
Addition to the topic, okay.
Means is
Example.
for example, com- document includes some application includes some columns like name,
Hmm.
specifications. Means what about what we are talking.
No, includes also same, but the main difference, primary difference is if I say I'll take the company definition only. Company means a company which is incorporated in 2013 Act or under previous Companies Act. That means to call you as a company, you have to compulsorily incorporated under Companies Act 2013 or any other previous company law. Sir, I have incorporated, but under Income Tax Act. Can I be called as company? I am incorporated under something called as Surface Act. Can I be called as company? No. Means it is a limitation. ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. To become a company, you have to be registered under this only. If you are not falling under this thing, then you are not a company. Means is a restrictive type of definition. What is restrictive? It will restrict every other kind to come and fall under the definition. Only which is specified under this definition. If you are coming under that part, you are a company. If not, you are not a company. Company means a company which is incorporated under 2013 or any other previous company law. For that, you have to compulsorily incorporate. Sir, I have incorporated under 2014 Companies Act. No, you are not a company. They said 2013 or previous, not after. First of all, we don't have any Companies Act 2014. I'm just giving the reference. What is includes? Includes means I'll write animals includes rat, cow, then lion, tiger, etc. How do you read this? Animal includes rat, cow, lion, tiger, etc. Can I say donkey is also an animal? Can I say what other animals? Cheetah is also an animal. Elephant is also an animal. Deer is also an animal. That means not only whatever we have defined here, it even includes some other things also which are in the same reference to the things which are defined. Includes means not only which are specified here. Yes, rat is also animal, cow is also animal, lion, tiger. Along with that, it includes certain other things also which are not defined in the definition. It is an inclusive type of definition. What is inclusive type of definition? Yes, sir. You are also fulfilling the definition of a animal. Yes, you are also an animal. You are also an animal. You are also an animal. But company will not say, because you have a director, because you do the work of a company, you are not a company. To become a company, you should be registered under 2013 or any of the previous company law. Sir, I look like company. No, don't think. Sir, I feel it is a company. Don't feel. For feeling, for thinking, there is no value here. Means it kind of definition. It is a restrictive. You cannot go beyond whatever it is specified under the definition. But whenever I say that includes, whatever it is specified under the definition, that is included. Along with that, some other things which are in the similar reference is also included. If I say document means document includes share certificate, debenture certificate, etc. Share certificate is also a document. Debenture certificate is also a document. That bill of exchange. You know what is bill of exchange? In case of credit sale, that is also a document. Yes, because that is also working something like as proof of something. Share certificate is also proof of something. The debenture certificate is also proof of something. Again, there is something called as promissory note. Again, there is something called as check. Any kind of written document is called as document. So means and includes. Understood the definition difference? Not there for your syllabus, but I'm just discussing. Means it is, you can write there. Don't write anything. You understood that? You can copy somewhere means and includes A and B, those things. Now I am again repeating. You also have to repeat along with me. Company means. Define what is company. Go by the section and clause also. I want that. Now, सुनील ಕೂಡ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕೂತಿದೆ. 1%. Chirag.
Company section for class 20 when incorporated under company's law under any previous contract.
You should be very fluent regarding the initial part. Company means as per company section 2 class 20 Allah. Company means as per section 2 class 20 of Companies Act 2013. You have to write this thing. Sir, I read that section and clause, but I am not able to recollect because we just discussed only one class and one section. You can remember that. But the moment we complete, we might discuss some 100 sections. You might be forgetting that. Sir, how do we write? Can we take a guess and write? No, don't never take a guess in case of that. Sir, how do we write then? It is better to go with as per the provisions of Companies Act 2013. If you are 100% sure about the section 110 says something. If you are sure that yes, 110 is this thing, then mention that section number. If not, never mention that section number. Because consider I mentioned section 110, which is related to example private company. I feel private company. But actually this section 110 is related to public company. That means the moment I write section 110, it denotes that I am talking about public company. But the answer below that I have written regarding the private company, it is totally contradicting the section as well as the content. Because of which, if you know what is the exact section number, write it. If you don't know, write it as per the provisions of Companies Act 2013. Company means a company which is incorporated under Companies Act 2013 or any other previous company law. We will discuss all this presentation part in case whenever we are discussing that presentation, writing practice, all those things. As of now, you just have to remember this subsection and clause. If you see there, if you look at this thing, just by they telling, if you are incorporated under 2013 or previous company law, can you conclude what does company do here? You are just talking about the registration part. If you get registered here, you are a company. See, it is like, what is mobile phone? How do you define a mobile phone? Which can be used for the purpose of calling, which can be used for the purpose of texting, which can be used for the purpose of watching a content, which can be used for the purpose of writing some content if it is some Samsung those mobiles, or which is used for the purpose of using the internet things, which is used for the purpose of browsing some videos. There are so many features by which we are defining a mobile. Mobile means mobile defined under this mobile act. What is mobile? So, without understanding what does it do, you cannot understand what it is. That is why, by looking into the definition, what does it says? If it is incorporated under 2013 Act or any other previous company law, it is you said it is company. No, what does company do? You tell me. Without understanding those features, you can never understand what is company. That is why the next concept which we are going to discuss is the company features. The features of company. There are multiple features. Under this Companies Act, we have multiple concepts. One is features, then corporate wheel theory, incorporation related part, share capital, shares, MOA, AOA, some other condition parts are also there. But now we will begin with features of company. So what are the features of company? There are multiple features. You just read that. We will discuss that one by one. First feature is separate legal entity. What is separate legal entity? Have you heard about this word? If not, then we will discuss. Don't worry. ನಾನು ಕಲ್ಸಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿರೋದು. Then is perpetual succession. Then limited liability. Artificial juridical person. I want you to read the content. The main characteristics of the company are as follows. Actually, first one is limited liability. You just read this entire three paragraphs, and anyway, I will explain. I want you to tell me what do you understand by that content. Limited liability means what? Yes, sir. Yes, done. Can anybody explain now?
The company being a separate entity. Firstly, we have to understand about the separate entity. Separate entity means it is it is an accounting concept, sir, which is that separate entity means here company is different and their members are different. Company is taken as a different person and members are taken on as a different person. They never include in the company. Company and members are not same. They are different, leading to leading its own business life. And leading his own business life, the member are not liable for its debt. As being a separate entity, sir, the members are not liable for a company's debt, and the liability of the members of a company is limited at the extent of the nominal value of shares held by company. And company is also not liable for the members' personal things. Their company is only liable for the members who are in the company. They have invested in shares, right, sir? They are only company is only liable for the share values of their members. And in a no event, can shareholders be asked to pay anything more than an unpaid value of its shares. The company do not have any rights to ask other than the share price which they have not paid it. Other than that, the company should not have any rights asking for shareholders. And in case of a company limited by guarantee means the members are liable only to the extent of the amount guaranteed by them and not beyond, and only when the company is going into liquidation. Company limited by guarantee means the members of company who is limited by guarantee, they had guaranteed some amount of value that they will pay when the companies come to the liquidation. Only for that thing they are liable, sir. Other than that, in liquidation time, they are not liable for any other things.
Any other person?
So in front of law, a company is seen as a different person, like a entity, and the members and company are two different persons. When if directors are joined together, they are called as a company. But still, a company is a different person in front of the law, and that is the reason they are not liable for the debts of the company.
Okay. Yes, boys. Ramesh. What is this limited liability? What is liability? Obligation. The obligation is limited. That is what the limited liability means. Sir, what do you mean by limited obligation? You should understand, because we are discussing the features of a company, it does not mean that this limited liability is of the company. It is not like company purchased some 1 lakh rupees worth of goods from somebody, from a creditor. Later, company did not have the money. It has only 50,000. Can I say my liability is limited to only 50,000? We did not understand the question. See there. There is A limited and person called as X, which has supplied certain goods for rupees 1 lakh. Later, the A limited went into losses and it says, see, I have only 50,000. I have only 50,000. Because I have only 50,000, can this A limited say my liability is limited to the extent of only 50,000? Can it say to A, see, I have only 50,000. If you want to take, you take. If not, I am not liable for another 50,000. Can the company say that? No. When I say the word limited liability, the company's liability is not limited. The person, specifically shareholders who are connected to the company, their liability is limited. Company liability la. Company has to sell at least its assets and pay the amount of that 1 lakh rupees to X. It doesn't matter how they pay it, whether they borrow it, whether they sell the goods and get the money, or whether they sell the assets. It doesn't matter. They have to pay that 1 lakh rupees completely. the liability of the company is always unlimited, but liability of the members members means specifically shareholders. Sometimes debenture holders are also considered, but I'll not consider them now. Shareholders is limited. Sir, what do you mean by shareholders liability is limited? How do I become the shareholder here? By purchasing the shares of a company? Consider A Limited has issued A Limited has issued 1000 shares of 100 each. 1000 shares of 100 each. We will take 500 shares. That will go to person X. Person X has purchased 500 shares, which is worth 100 each of A Limited. Now, what is the liability of X? How much he has to pay to the company? Is it 500 into 100, 50,000? He has to pay totally 50,000 to own those 500 shares. But because company does not need 50,000 immediately, they made first call. There is something called as first call, second call, final call. So first call they made out of 100 rupees, they called 50 rupees there. They called 50 rupees. That means how much money? Call means I can directly write it as paid up. How much money they have received? 25,000. Now, person X is holding those 500 shares, but partly he is holding. Sir, why it is partly, why not it is fully? Because company only not called remaining 50 rupees. The moment company calls remaining 50 rupees, it becomes the entire share belonging to the X. Now, it is paid. What is payable? Remaining 25,000 only. Because total liability is 100 into 500. Totally 50,000. In the first call, he is already paid 25,000. And the second call, again 25,000 has to be paid. Maybe second call or the final call. So, whenever company goes into the losses, or whenever the company is in need of money, or whenever something happens in a company, then company can go to the shareholders and call the money. How much they can call? Max to max they can call 25,000 rupees. Even though company need 200 crore rupees, it doesn't matter. The liability of the members is max to max only 25,000, because that is what I call it as the limited liability. It doesn't matter for me as a shareholder how much company needs the money. It matters how much I'm liable to give to the company, how much I'm responsible to pay to the company. That is what a limited liability. My liability as a shareholder is limited. Limited. Sir, what is limited? You just give the number, I'll put it in the equation form. The liability of the members is limited depending on type of company. Depends on type of company. Sir, what do you mean by type of company? For this liability, I categorize company into three types. Company into three types. One is limited by shares. That means company has come into existence by issuance of shares. Second type of company is limited by guarantee. What is limited by guarantee? Company did not issue the shares, but it has taken guarantee from the members. Then third type of company is unlimited company. What is this unlimited company? The members said, the shareholder said, okay, my liability is not limited, my liability is unlimited. I'm giving that full permission. They only directly telling that. Now, how much is the liability? The liability is if it is in case of limited by shares, if a company is limited by shares, then the liability of members is limited to the extent of unpaid up value of the share capital. What do you mean by unpaid up value of the share capital? In this example, out of 100 rupees, 50 rupees is already paid. Remaining 50 is only unpaid. My liability for every share is only 50 rupees now. Company cannot call more than 50. In that case, to the extent of unpaid up value. To the extent of unpaid up value. You can take a fresh page and write it. To the extent of unpaid up value. I'll only copy that. Wait, somewhere. I'll write it in a different format. Limited liability. Company limited by shares. Company limited by guarantee. And unlimited company. Unlimited company. In this case, company limited by shares. Liability is to the extent of unpaid up value of share capital, or I'll write it as unpaid up value of shares. Here, in case of company limited by guarantee, liability is to the extent of amount guaranteed by member. Third one is liability of a member is unlimited. Is unlimited. You don't write COA, you write COMPA in a company fully. I don't have any exam to write. I'm a teacher. Whatever I write, that's okay. You have to write full form in the examination. So listen, I have some discussions to make here. If it is company limited by shares, company will issue the share. The person who purchases the share, they know that how much is the face value of the share. Whatever the amount paid, the balance is unpaid up value that they can be paid to the company whenever the company calls them. Second type of thing is company limited by guarantee. That means, are they trying to tell company will not issue the shares to the members in case of company limited by guarantee? Generally, yes. Generally, yes. But there is one exception. What is that exception? That exception we will discuss after the discussion. I want to become the member of the company. I want to become the member, but company has not issued the shares. Any person who want to become the member of a company should give the guarantee to the company that whenever something happens to the company, they should give 5 lakh rupees. That means one person has given a guarantee to the extent of 5 lakh rupees. The liability of the members is only to the extent of amount guaranteed, that is 5 lakh in this case. Or in certain type of other company, unlimited company. What does it say? Whenever company is into the losses or whenever the company needs the money, then whatever the total losses are there, that has to be fully given by the members only. If the company needs 1 lakh, 1 lakh has to be given. If the company needs 10 lakh, 10 lakh has to be given. If the company needs 1 CR, 1 CR has to be given. Unlimited. It is totally unlimited. The members' liability is unlimited. In the third type of company, unlimited company, the members' liability as well as company liability, both are unlimited here. Because company liability is anyway unlimited for third parties. Whatever the goods I have purchased, I have to pay that. And if I don't pay, my member who has given that guarantee regarding unlimited guarantee, that is also unlimited. That means whatever my liability, his liability becomes that part. Now, now there are some additional points which can be used for writing the descriptive answers, not MCQ. Whatever the money is there, company limited by shares. In the same example only, it is consider it is first call or application and allotment. Allotment this is. Now company wants to call another 20 rupees. Can they call? Yes. Can you put it as first call? Company want to call another 20 rupees. Can they call? Can we put it as second call? Now company want to call another 10 rupees. Can we put it as final call? Because there is no other money which is left for the purpose of calling. That is why it is final call. So can the company call all this money 20, 20 and 10 whenever it is running its business? Company is going on, company felt some money is required, can they call the money from the shareholders and receive that? Because company is running, they called it later and later and later. That means indirectly I'm trying to tell the company limited by shares, whatever the liability of the members are there, that can be called during two times. During the lifetime of the company, lifetime means whenever the company is running, or during the winding up of the company also. What do you mean by winding up of the company? Company stops its position, its operation, everything. Now company want to sell all of its assets and pay all of its liabilities. For that it is short of some money. At that time also company can directly call 50 rupees from every share. Then they can collect that remaining 25,000 and pay it to outsiders. It simply means a single statement. If the liability of the company, which is limited by shares, can be called during the lifetime of the company as well as during the winding up of the company, it can be come for MCQ. It can come for MCQ. But in case of guarantee and unlimited company, because I have guaranteed, if the power is given to the company, whether company is in need of money or not, it immediately calls it. My guarantee is what? Whenever you go into the losses, I'll protect you. That is what my guarantee. It is not because you have to get money and do business from me. You have to do business, arrange some loans, arrange some money from some third party, then do the business. Not depending on my money. Whenever you are in that ultimate crisis, you don't have anything, then you come to me. What is the ultimate crisis for every company? Winding up of the is an ultimate crisis. That means this the amount guarantee, liability limited by guarantee or unlimited liability. Both can be called only during the winding up of the company. It can never be called during the life of the company. Company is running, they can never call for guaranteed amount. With respect to unlimited, how you think logically? When do we come to know what is the total liability of the company? Whenever the company stops its operation, because company purchases today, again sells tomorrow, purchase, sell. That means liability keeps on fluctuating. For a person who has given unlimited liability, how do we conclude how much is my liability? Today it is one thing, tomorrow it is one more thing, tomorrow it is one more thing. That is why whenever you stop your operation, close your company, then you tell me how much is your liability, then I'll settle that liability. That is why unlimited company's liability is also settled only or called only during the winding up of the company. You can write below that. It can be called during the life and as well as winding up of the company. Second one is it can be called during the winding up of the company. It can be called only during the winding up of the company. Then third one is also same. They might ask one theory question also. They might ask some MCQ questions also. What is theory question can come? The theory question goes like, explain the type of company with respect to liability. With respect to liability, company is divided into three categories: limited by company, limited by shares, company limited by guarantee, unlimited company. Then the liability is to the extent of unpaid up capital. Here guaranteed amount, here unlimited amount, and it can be called during this time, this time, this time. We have to write it. Understood? Then we will read that. Company being a separate legal entity leading its own business life. See, you don't worry about the separate legal entity. We will discuss that is the next point. Corporate personality or corporate veil. We will discuss that point. You just remember there is something called as corporate separate legal entity leading its own business life. That members are not liable for its debts. That means you are separate, I am separate. The liability of the members of a company is limited to the extent of nominal value of the shares held by them. What is nominal value? It is face value. In our example, 100 rupees was the face value. 100 rupees was the face value. But you said, sir, 50 rupees only liability because they already paid 50 rupees. Maximum liability is 100 rupees. 50 rupees paid, 50 rupees is still pending. In no event can a shareholder be asked to pay anything more than the unpaid value of the shares. Maximum liability. Then, in case of a company limited by guarantee, unlimited company they did not give here. One is company limited by shares. Second one is company limited by guarantee. The members are liable only to the extent of the amount is guaranteed by them, and not beyond, and only when the company goes into liquidation. What is liquidation? If the company is winding up, then only my liability is there. If the company is not winding up, if the company is continuing, then I don't have any liability as a member of a company in case of guaranteed company. Unlimited company not given. You can anyway you have copied right the chart. That is first feature of a company. We were discussing company. What is company? Section 2, class 20 of Companies Act 2013. Company means a company which is you are hungry. Then, sorry, if I speak, my energy will get over. Then the first feature of the company is limited liability. See, they might ask 7 marks straight away question, what is company, and explain the features. Second feature is corporate will. Okay, we will discuss this corporate will later because it has some this thing. Time is already 8:45. We'll see. That cannot be completed. The next feature of the company is perpetual succession. The next feature. That separate legal entity for corporate will we will discuss later. As of now, it is perpetual succession. What is succession? Continuity. For example, whenever the grandfather dies, the property comes to the successor. We call it as succession to the father. When the father dies, then it comes to the grandson. Then again it goes to the next generation. That means the property is being successed. That means from one generation to other generation. So that is what we call as succession. What is perpetual? Have you heard about this word? What is that then?
End of the life. End of the
No, not end of the life. Perpetual means indefinite. There is no end. Ultimate. It is like, what is the end of this land? No, I don't see any end because it is on a round format. Whenever you keep on moving, unless there is no building, you can keep on moving that. How much is the distance or what is the barrier to the sky? No, I can't see that. Perpetual success. Perpetual means what? There is no end. Company also says that one of the feature of the company is company will not start for the purpose of closing it on tomorrow. Company starts for the purpose of continuing the business for lifetime, forever. That is why one of the ultimate feature of the company is perpetual succession. Nobody wants to close the business tomorrow. See, it does not mean that, so many people misunderstood. I don't want you to also misunderstand the concept of perpetual succession. Perpetuity, even in mathematics also it is there, the concept of perpetuity. Perpetual means, they said, there is no end. No end. Endless hole. You keep on going, it still keeps on going. But that is the wrong concept. I feel, or not fully right concept. Sir, how? We said one of the feature of the company is perpetual succession. That means we are telling company will go forever. Surya Chandra Anadi Kala ಎಲ್ಲವರೆಗೂ ಇರ್ತೈತಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಕಂಪನಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಕತ್ತೀರಿ perpetual succession means. But just think, don't you think company will close? The company which has started 100 years back might be already closed, or any company which is still running may close after 200 years, may close after 500 years. Perpetuity, as far as me concerned, it does not mean there is no end. It is just that we don't know the end. Because we don't know that, we cannot quantify it. Perpetuity, perpetual succession. But you don't, that is some theory, knowledge, gyan. Don't write it for examination. Perpetuity, whatever you are told, it is wrong. As far as me concerned, it is not an end. Just I don't know the end, you don't write these answers. You will get definitely 0 marks. So examination, perpetual succession means company goes forever. What do you mean by company goes forever? There are certain other concepts in India. Consider there are 5 shareholders of the company. Consider it is a private company. 5 members together, they form this company. Whenever they are going in a car met with an accident and all the 5 people died. Does this mean that company is going to close? No, that is not going to close. That is what the feature of perpetual succession. Whenever the father dies, it will go to the son. Son will become the shareholder and the company keeps on continuing. Consider I am a shareholder, I sold my share to some other person. Does this mean that just because I sold the share, the company gets closed? No, the other person will become the member of the company. So whether the members come, whether the members go, whether the members die, whether the members become insane. Insane means mental, not capable of understanding anything. It doesn't matter. It will not affect the existence of the company. That is what perpetual succession. Irrespective of anything, with respect to the members, the directors, anybody, the company will go forever. That is what perpetual succession. Understood? See there. You just remember this thing. Whatever I discussed, that is for understanding. You should be having that in mind whenever you read that. But for examination, this is sufficient. Members may come and members may go, but the company goes on forever. Variation in members are their identity. That means some person sold the share, some person purchased the share. Variation in members' identity does not affect the legal existence and identity of the company. It is creation of the law and it can be dissolved only under the law. That means because we bring the company into existence by registering under ROC, Companies Act, we can eliminate that company only by going to the ROC and getting it strike off. By their permission only we can eliminate the company, not because I feel like no, tomorrow I don't want to start continue the company, I'll close it. No, you can't close it. Legally you should go to the ROC and get your name closed. That is what this thing. Simple terms, perpetual succession means members may come, members may go, but it will not affect the existence of the company. That's it. The next feature of the company is transferability of shares. What is transferability of shares? Now I am having the shares, can I transfer it to some other person? Can that person transfer to some other person? Yes, that is also one of the feature of company. Generally, we call it as whatever the shares are there, they are freely transferable. Freely does not mean that free of cost. Freely means that without any restrictions, except in case of private company. So, shares in a company are freely transferable, subject to certain conditions, such that no shareholder is permanently or necessarily wedded with the company. That means it is not like the wedding. ಗಂಡ ಏಳು ಏಳು ಜನ್ಮದವರೆಗೂ ನಾವು ಜೊತೆಗಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಥರ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. It is like not permanently needed to be wedded to the company. When a member transfers his shares to another person, that transferee, that means the buyer of share, transferee steps into the shoes of the transferor. That means he will take the position of the shareholder and acquires all the rights of the transferor in respect of those shares. What is all the rights? Maybe whenever the company gives the dividend, the buyer will get the dividend. Whenever company gives the bonus shares, the buyer only will get the bonus shares. Everything, whatever the rights the original owner has, all the rights are again being transferred to the other person. That is what transferability. Shares are freely transferable. Then the next feature of the company is separate property. What is separate property? See, is this mobile phone mine? You have your mobile phone. Is this cloth mine? Is this laptop mine? This iPad is mine. This pencil is mine. This watch is mine. That means all these are my separate properties. This is you don't have any right with respect to these properties. The same way, we are a natural persons. We can hold and we can own this. Hold and own. Because the company is not a natural person. Who is a natural person? The person who takes the birth from mother's womb. ತಾಯಿ ಗರ್ಭದಿಂದ ಯಾರು ಹುಟ್ಟತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪರ್ಸನ್ who has taken birth by artificial means. What is artificial? By filing application something, it got into the existence. Because of which, as we are the natural person, the company is an artificial person. Still we are persons only in the eyes of law. Yes, we can hold the land, we can hold the building, we can hold the assets. The company can also hold their separate property. Whatever the property company has, whatever the building this company has, whatever the fan, light, iPad, this everything else, it is not belonging to the members. It is a property of the company only because it is separate. Company is separate, members are separate. Understood? Separate property. The property which is company can hold and own its own property. There is no wrong in that. As a corporate person, what is corporate person? Company is a corporate person. Company is not a natural person. You can write there artificial person. Corporate person, the company is entitled to own and hold property in its own name. No member can claim ownership of any item of the company assets because members are different. Company is different. We are discussing company features. First one is limited liability. Second one, perpetual succession, separate property, then transferability of shares. Then fifth one we are discussing here is common sale. Sir, it is sixth. No, we left one thing. Perpetual, what's that? Corporate way, or separate element. We will discuss that next time. What is common seal? Now I'll tell you. You tell me. Whenever I want to give some money to somebody, I have multiple options. I can give cash. I can immediately make online payment. I can even give the check also. Consider whenever I am giving the check, is any check valid without my signature? That means somebody has to authorize any transaction. That this check is mine. This is what my signature. You please verify in your computer document. Then if it is matching, then transfer the amount. Even whenever you want to transfer online amount, you have to put the OTP also. That means there is some authentication required. But whenever because company is a separate person, it can own the bank account, it can own the property, it can own the land, it can own the building, everything. How does company transfers money? How does company buys the assets? How does company sells the asset? Because it has to be signed whenever you want to sell your property. You have to go to the sub register office and sign it. How the company will go and sign it? Will this building get up and go? Because of which they prepared something called as common seal. Common seal means it is an official signature of a company. Official signature of a company. The moment common seal is there, then it is like a signature made by the company. Along with that common seal, because it should not be duplicated by some person, because seal can be done by any person. My company, you can pay some 300, 400 rupees, you can get it seal done. Because of which, along with the common seal, it should be signed by directors and company secretaries of the company. So yes, company signing, and the director and company secretary is telling yes, this sign is valid. That is what they have to give. But one of the fact is, from 2016 onwards, common seal is optional for company. Company can have the common seal, may not have the common seal. One of the MCQ question, it will come from here. Is it mandatory to have common seal for a company? No, it is not mandatory. It is optional from 2016. So then when common seal is not there, who will authorize? When the common seal is not there, then two directors of the company will sign it. If the two directors are not there, then one director and one company secretary will sign it. The moment they sign it, it becomes an official signature of the company. Sir, what is common seal? Whenever you take the fees receipt, they'll put one rubber stamp. Is it a common seal? No, never. There's a rubber stamp. Common seal is like only one seal will be there. Have you seen any movies where there will be some government raid will happen? They put some sticker, seize the property. It is not like they put in the what is that, stamp pad and seal akangilla. They burn something and they put that sticker. That means it is a iron thing which does not have any ink. It is like you have seen something called as engraving. Engraving means there will be one stone and we are making one idol out of that stone. That is like taking out the waste stone from that so that it will come to a shape. The common seal is also like the same thing, where from the iron thing they'll take out, they carve out whatever the unnecessary things. Then it will be a common seal. I can show that common seal here. Common seal is having one company can have maximum of only one common seal, and that should be kept in the registered office of the company. See, Reliance company has some 1,000 branches all across the country, but common seal will not be there in every branch of the office. It has to be there in only in head office or registered office, we call it as, and that should be there in the custody of company secretary. Have you seen this? Is there any color here? No. The moment I put it, it will come out engraving. ಈ ಟಿ ಶರ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಸಲ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಳಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. The letters will be printed from outside that engraving part. Anybody is wearing that? No. See, whatever she is wearing, what is that? Happy faces, huh? Oh, happiness. Something is there. Here it is a place. So that we call it as printing, or we can call it as stamping. Engraving is like that is printed on the top. Engraving is like that will be printed on from bottom, because of which it will come out. I can show that. See, it is the government seal generally that happens in case of right. They will burn that red thing and they'll put that thing. The moment it is put, it is this thing. It is not easily common seal. Uncommon seal not able to see. See, this is the rubber stamp. This is not common seal. This is common seal. It will be like this. We call it as engraving. What is engraving? ಒಳಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಕೆತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ. Sometimes common seal will be this way. It will be engraved. The paper they will put it and they will press it. You can see there. They have that. Postal department generally do that. And this is common seal. They put it and they finish it up. On incorporation, a company acquires a legal entity status with perpetual succession and common seal. Since the company has no physical existence, it must act through its agent. Agent means the directors of the company, the person who is running it. And all such contracts entered into by agent must be under the seal of the company. That means they should not enter into any contract in their personal name. They should enter into contract in the company name only, company seal. The common seal of the company is of very great importance. It acts as the official signature of the company. Can be asked for MCQ. The name of the company must be engraved. The word engraved is important here. On its common seal. The rubber stamp does not serve the purpose. A document not bearing common seal of the company is not authentic and has no legal force binding that. If there is no common seal, there is no valid document. It is maybe a fake document also. However means exception. As per from 2016, as per Company Amendment Act 2015, a requirement of putting the common seal has been dispensed with. Dispensed with means what? Made optional. They are not telling you should not have common seal. They are telling you can have, you cannot have. It depends on your mindset. It has been provided in the act that in case of a company does not have a common seal, the authorization shall be made by two directors. Authorization means generally we call it as sign. Generally we call it as sign. Two directors are by a director. A means one director and the company secretary. It is like two directors are one director plus one CS, one company secretary. If you look at the language, very beautifully drafted. Authorization shall be made by two directors or one director and company secretary. That means one director and company secretary, both are should be there and conditions are there here. But if you see here, director plus company secretary are two directors. Or means either two directors can sign or one director plus one company secretary can also sign. If the company secretary is not appointed by the company, then no need to sign company secretary, only two directors can sign. That's it with respect to the common seal. Then the last thing, it will take less than a minute. We will discuss and we will take a break. Then we'll come back and we will discuss the other point. What is capacity to sue and be sued? When somebody promises, or okay, you paid the fees, we did not take the class. Can you go to the court? Because you paid the fees, we have a right to get the classes. We took the classes, you did not pay the fees. Can we go to the court? Yes. Everybody has a right to recover the money. That is what we call it as every natural person has a right of suing. Suing means putting the case, filing the case. Yes, we natural person have that option to file the case. Even the artificial person, the company can also sue somebody, or somebody else also can sue the company, because that is also a person. You see that so many people are put case on some Reliance company, or insurance companies, mainly insurance companies. There are so many cases. They feel, so this is not claimable insurance. I feel yes, it is claimable insurance. We will go to the court. I have seen best example is Telugu people have seen Mukunda Murari. Kannada people have seen Gopala Govinda. Govinda Gopala. What is that? Gopala is Telugu. Pawan Kalyan and Venkatesh. In Kannada it is Mukunda Murari, Upendra and Sudeep. Where they put case on insurance companies, yes, it can be sued. It can also be sued. That is what this point. You read that once, you'll understand. And we'll take a break of half an hour. Again, we'll meet back after breakfast, 9:35. Understood? Understanding or not? Subhash, online. You please go through those points for 2 3 minutes. ನಿಮ್ ಕಡೆ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ದು ಸೇಮ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಯಾರು ಹಾಂ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರ ಒಂದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್. Even if you don't have the same material also, okay, read from this material only. They are not talking at all. I'll ask them. Then limited liability. Then point number three, four. Done? Still anybody reading? Last 30 seconds, please complete that. Everybody done? We will discuss one of the most important topic of this chapter. Not this concept, the concept below that. We call it as corporate will theory, financing of corporate will. This is very important. To understand that, we have to understand this point first. What is this corporate will or corporate personality? It is also called as separate legal entity. What is separate legal entity? Company is an entity and it is formed by law only, by registered under Companies Act 2013, and that is why that it is a separate from normal being. It is separate from the members. It is separate from the directors, and that separate entity is a legal entity. Separate legal entity, or we, even it is called as corporate will. What is this? We'll discuss. Or corporate personality. What is corporate? Corporate means it is like a corporation, not municipal corporation. Multinational corporations, I've heard about those things. Company, the other word for the company is corporations. So personality, even that company is also having separate personality compared to the members of the company. Personality. As I have a personality, as you have a personality, company is also having one personality. And what is corporate veil? Corporate means it is a corporation, and they say you know there is a veil that ladies put. Veil, chudidar, right? For chudidar they will put the veil. That veil only it is. Veil is there. That means there are the members. Here the members are there, and here the company is there. Between them there is a veil. It is like I was seen in case of marriage, bride will be sitting this side, groom will be sitting this side, and there will be two parties holding this, and that is what we call it as veil. That there is a veil between the members as well as the company, and sometimes we lift that veil when uh, you don't know. జీలకర్ర బెల్లం పెట్టేటప్పుడు. It is the last. We will lift that veil for the last happiest moment for the boy. So whenever we lift the corporate veil, sir, why do we lift? Because, okay, not jokes apart. Because when I say I lift the corporate veil, I am removing that different personality between the members and corporate. Corporate means company. When there is a veil, the members is different, company is different. But whenever I lift that veil, they both will become one. That is what we call it as lifting of corporate. We will discuss in the next concept. We are not discussing that concept now. Now we are discussing the corporate veil. That means there is a veil between the corporate, the company, and the members. Because of which, as I earlier discussed, the members are totally different from company. The members may come, members may go, members may die, anything can happen, but it will not affect the existence of a company. Along with that, members, if they done anything fraudulently, if they done anything fraudulently, considering that, because See, when I say company, company will not do anything. On behalf of company, people only has to do. Because how will the company act? I have to act on behalf of my company as a director, as a shareholder, like that. So when separate existence for company is there, when separate existence for me is there, I'll try to commit fraud in the name of company, so that police can come and sue the company. Police can come and penalize the company. But did company do anything wrong? In that case, whenever trying to misuse the corporate veil, because there is a separate entity concept, if you're trying to misuse, then we will lift that veil and we will treat company and you as one, and we will punish you. That is lifting of corporate veil. There are certain cases whenever somebody want to misuse the separate legal entity, we will lift that corporate veil. There are, I think, 6 cases are there. 5 are there. Now it is they added one more case. We will discuss those things. Before that, see there, what is corporate personality? And this concept has come because of the mainly came into the force because of the concept called case called as Salomon versus Salomon Company Limited. Have you heard about this case? What is this case? Case. Have you read any case? Okay, I'll discuss that case. Don't worry. See there, a legal concept that separates the personality of a corporation from the personalities of its shareholders and protect them from being personally liable for the company's debt and other obligation. That means whatever the liability of the company is there, the company only liable. The members are not liable. The shareholders are not liable. That is why it will protect the members or shareholders from that veil. Therefore, if the company incurs debts or contravenes any laws, they're talking about company. That means if company borrows any money or contravenes any law. What do you mean by contravention of any law? Can anybody give an example? Violation of law. Any example for violation of law by the company? Huh? Misuse of?
Sir, by keeping the company goodwill and they will do frauds, right?
No, example. I'm asking example.
Unethical
Okay.
business against the laws, like
Then maybe employing the minor childrens or money laundering or not paying the taxes, we call it as contravention of the law. If something done such way, then the members are not liable for those errors and enjoy the corporate insulation. Because of the mistake of the company, they should not be punishable for members. In simpler words, the shareholders are protected from the acts of the company. Whatever the company does, the company only liable, not the shareholders. Because if you look at Reliance company, you know Reliance company, how many shareholders it has? Can you guess? Any number, specific number? 10 lakh, okay. I'll give one hint. Reliance company has around totally 450, around 450 crore shares in the market. Shares. One person can have 1 crore shares also. That doesn't matter. I'm talking about number of members now. How many members it might have? It is having, I think, around 15 lakh members. You see that. We'll directly search in Google. It is not 450 crores, it is 650 crores. They increased it. Total number of shareholders. Around 47.5 lakh shareholders are there. Around 50 lakh. Just because 50 lakh shareholders are there, do you think all the 50 lakh shareholders will come and run the company? No. If it is kept in the hands of 50 lakh, then the Reliance company will only not be there. One person will say something, no, other person will take it to the ego, other person will say something, why I should follow you. That is why shareholders are just shareholders. They are owning the company, but they are not managing the company. Who will manage the company? There is an organization called as board of directors. Those shareholders only will appoint board of directors, and those board of directors will run the show for shareholders. Now, whenever, do you think all the 50 lakh shareholder will know that what is happening in the inside the Reliance company? They just come for once in a year, a meeting called as AGM, annual general meeting, and have snacks, have tea. If they give the dinner, they have the dinner and go home safely. That's it. Whatever happening, see, if you see the annual report, the Reliance company is having a total turnover on a yearly basis of how much, you know? Huh? Close together, definitely. How much? Specific, be specific. Any guess? Huh? 1000 or 1200 crores, okay? 1 lakh crores, okay? 5000 crores. It is more than 10 lakh crores. 1 year turnover, 1 year sales is more than 10 lakh crores. Don't believe me, you believe the report of Mukesh Ambani only. Consolidated revenue crossed 10 lakh crores. Didn't you see that one meme is there? If Nita Ambani goes for shopping to Pakistan, she can buy from her net worth only entire Pakistan. That meme has come. I'm not talking about the worth of the company. I'm talking about 1 year revenue. You know what is the worth of a company? More than 20 lakh crores. One company is worth more than 20 lakh crores. You know who is the largest shareholder in India? Which person is holding highest shares in every company? Consider if I invested 1 lakh rupees, I am holding shares worth 1 lakh rupees. Who is the largest shareholder in India? Maximum shares held by different companies. Any guess? You think? What do you think? Rakesh Junjunwala? Huh? Example? No, not insurance company. He is, we call him as POI. What is POI? President of India. Yeah, President of India is the largest shareholder of in an Indian economy. You look at President of India, the portfolio value, you just observe, you just count it. 42 lakh ಮುಂದೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವರ್ಡ್ ಐತೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, there is one word, crores. President of India is holding 42 lakh crores shares in different type of company.
Shares.
Worth rupees shares. Rupees 42 lakh crores. See, it is rupees only.
Okay.
Second is Tata Sons. Not Ratan Tata, Tata Sons. Tata Steel, Tata Motors, Tata Salt, Tata, everything comes under one company called as Tata Sons. Sons is a holding company. These things are subsidiary company. If I click on the President of India, you can check there which company they are holding. LIC, Life Insurance Corporation. In that only, the value of President holding is 5,62,000 crores. How much is holding? Around 95 percentage. 96.5 percentage is holding in that. That means LIC is a listed company now. Only 3.5% has been given to the market people, public people like you and me. 96.5 still held by President of India only. Then comes State Bank of India, 4,13,000 crores. Then HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Then ONGC, NTPC, Bharat Electronic, IRFC, Coal, Power Grid, IOCL, Mazgaon, Dock and Shipbuilders, Punjab PNB, Union Bank, Bharat Petroleum. All the banks, majority of the shares is held by President of India only. Public sector banks, not private. Power Finance, IOB, Canara Bank, Indian Bank, GAIL, NH, every type of company you can imagine of. There are totally here around some 50 companies are there, I think. See, least shareholding is 59 crores. 59 crore 20 lakhs. You know what is the net worth of Rakesh Junjunwala? You know who is Rakesh Junjunwala? Don't know, don't worry. Rakesh Junjunwala is having around 62,000 crore rupees net worth. He is a chartered accountant. He was a chartered accountant. He left CA practice and started this as investor and trader. There is one more person on top of Rakesh Junjunwala, Radhakrishna Damani. Who is he? You know, DMart, owner of DMart, not owner, major shareholder of the DMart. DMart means Damani Mart. D means Damani. Yes. You know, there is one more, like we have DMart in India. Actually, it is a copy paste of an US company, Walmart. See, Walmart means Wal is a surname of some person there. So kept it as surname Mart, Walmart. So here Radhakrishna Damani, he also copied instead of Damani Mart, he kept it as DMart. Actually, they are two friends. They started at the same time. Rakesh Junjunwala entered into stock market, buying and selling. Radhakrishna Damani started building one company. One company alone is having 1,80,000 crores. DMart, majorly from DMart. Premji, this Wipro company is there. Ajim Premji. That Premji and associates are having 2 lakh crores net worth. Again, Mukesh Ambani and family is having 4,12,000. Remaining people see small Kanji Pinji 6,000, 7,000 crores are there. No, compared to them, that is small amount only. Where is 4 lakh crores? Where is 4,000? Premji, Radhakrishnan Damani, Rekha Junjunwala. Who is Rekha Junjunwala? Rakesh Junjunwala's wife. Mukul Agarwal again. And people are there. Earlier, Vijay Mallya was also there here. Now he is gone. That's okay. We'll come back. Why did we discuss that? That 50 lakh shareholders will not come and run the company. Those 50 lakh shareholders are just the investors. Whenever the company gives the dividend, they collect it. Whenever the company price increases, they sell and they make the profit. That's something they'll do it. Because of which, whatever the act done by the company, those people should not be held liable. That is why this corporate legal, separate legal entity concept has been introduced. But sometimes the members only will become the directors of the company. Example, Mukesh Ambani. Mukesh Ambani is holding around 50% of the share capital, 49% of the share capital in the Reliance industry. Along with this, he is the chairman and managing director. In that case, the member is also same, the management is also same, and he is only running the company. In that case, you should not try to misuse the company. In that case, they introduce something called as corporate lifting of corporate bill. We'll discuss it. Understood what is corporate bill? Separate legal entity. For any acts of the company, the members are not liable. For any acts of the members, the company is not liable. They are liable for their individual capacity, not the other way. This concept has come actually because of the case called as Solomon versus Solomon. What is this Solomon? Solomon versus Solomon Company Limited. I'll just give one reference here. They are using the word limited. No, not private limited. If it is a private limited, then they would have used private limited. That means it is not a private company, it is a public company. As of now, just remember it is a public company. Limited means it is used for public company. If it is a private company, then they'll use private limited. Some other names they'll use for different types of company. Now it is public company. You know what is the minimum number of members for public company? 7. Private company 2. Maximum number for private company 50 for partnership, 200 for private company, and for public company unlimited. That's it. Now this case starts like Solomon is a person. Actually, it is not an Indian case. It is a UK case. UK means United Kingdom. UK means Uttar Kannada, not Karnataka. Solomon is a person. Yes, he is a person. Who said no? Where in United Kingdom, consider London, he was doing shoe business, and the shoe business was very successful. He was doing in his own name. Consider like we put some grocery shop, kirana shop. He also put that shoe business like local vendor. He was doing that entirely. So somebody, some intelligent person like you, has suggested, why do you take so much of risk? Why do you? Because it is on a sole proprietorship means when something loss happens, I am only responsible because it is not a separate legal entity. Then somebody said, why don't you convert this Solomon business into Solomon Company Limited? What is Solomon Company Limited? That means whatever the business it is carried on an individual name. Now the entire business is sold to one company. That company name is Solomon Limited. Because in the eyes of law, member is different, company is different, shareholder is totally different. But when I say limited, they need 7 members for the purpose of forming a public company. Because of which, okay, before going to the number of members, he sold this entire Solomon business to Solomon Limited for exactly I don't remember the number, 38,782 pounds. It is pound symbol 38,782. When I say I sold my business for 38,782, consider it as rupees only, 38,782 rupees. I should get 38,782 rupees. But I received the consideration of 38,782 in 3 different parts. What is 3 different parts? This 38,782, he received some shares of the company worth something, and he received some cash from the company, and even he gave the debt to the company. Consider, we will see the numbers. He has received 20,000 rupees worth of shares. That means minus 20,000 is already gone here. Remaining is 18,782, and he has given He treated out of that 18,782 10,000 as debt. And what debt? He has given secured debt. Secured debt. That means 20,000 is over, 10,000 is over, remaining is 8782. He received by way of cash. So 38,782 how he has received means some shares, some cash, and he has given the debt to the company, and that means a loan to the company by a secured debt. Now we need 7 members here now for the purpose of becoming this thing. These 20,000 shares are divided in a way that Solomon is there, he will take some shares. Remaining 6 members are required, right? He has only one wife. Because that is common in other country having multiple wives. There he is having only one wife, and he is having one son. 2, 3. One son or two son? Wait. Hmm? 4 sons ಅಲ್ಲ 4 daughters ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? Sorry, correct. One daughter and 4 sons. And for wife, he gave one share. For one daughter, he gave one share again. And for 4 sons, they gave 4 shares, one share each. Totally 4 plus 1 plus 1 6. Plus the remaining is 4 plus 1 plus 1 6 means 19,994 or 6. 4 shares they have taken. Solomon only kept those 19,994 shares. Later, this company formation has been done. Everybody was happy. Everything is going smooth. As we had COVID recently, where every business got affected, the same way there was something called as depression. You know what is depression? Company sales are not, country sales are not happening. People does not have the money to buy. We call it as depression. In India also, in the whole world also, we had something called as 1932 depression. If you know the economics, you know that depression, where all the countries are almost went to bankrupt. They don't have the money to food only. Like everybody is having almost only one meals a day. No nutrition, no hygiene, nothing is there. That was there. After some point of time, there came a depression in UK. Because of which business got affected. Nobody was buying the shoe. When people does not have money to eat, why will they buy the design shoes? There is one proverb in Kannada. ಹೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಜುಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. So like that. So business got affected. No. If I can translate that into English, when the people does not have money to eat only, why will they buy the different type of shoes for the purpose of design? I give other things. Same only ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಜಿಡ್ಡು ಊಟ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. Okay. Depression in UK. Because of the depression, the business got affected. When the business got affected, I wanted to see the numbers. On that year, if you look at the balance sheet, of that Solomon Limited, it shows like liability. Creditor is a liability. Secured debt means he is a creditor, which comes under the left side or right side. Creditors. Is it right? Okay. You saved me at least. 10,000 was there, and there is some unsecured creditors. That means they bought some goods from some third party. They borrowed some money from some third party. Something is there. That is around 7,000 was there. Later, the assets were not sufficient. Consider, I don't know exactly the assets. Consider only 6,000 rupees of assets were there. Now, when the business already went into liquidation, what does Solomon did is, He sold all of his this 6,000 asset worth of asset, and he took that 6,000 to him only, because he said, see, I am different, my company is different, I don't care about my company went into the losses, why should I leave my 10,000? So he collected 10,000. But about this remaining unsecured creditors started fighting. See, you only incorporated a company, you only run the company, because of you only company went into the loss. Now you only telling that this 6,000 first, your duty to give for outsiders. If there is anything left, then you should take it for yourself. That is how the good businessman will do. No, I'm the businessman, very very good businessman. First, I'll secure my interest, then I'll see you, like Vijay Mallya. Then everybody was angry and went to the court. Court decided, yes, you tell your side, you tell your side. They listened. Then court gave a decision. Yes, Solomon is different, and Solomon Limited is different. Because of which, whoever has the security of the company against the debt, secured debt, they get the first chance. If after payment of the secured creditors, if there is any money left in the company, then they get the partial secured debt. Then if the partial, after payment of partial creditors also, if there is any money left, then comes unsecured. Because of which, this 6,000 rupees has to be paid to Solomon, and we will wind it up. This case is simply member is different and company is different. Just because the member is running the company, it does not mean that member is responsible for each and every activity of a company. That's it. Solomon versus Solomon Limited. This case will not come in the examination. You just remember, whenever you get a case study based on some separate legal entity concept, try to quote it. In the given case of Solomon versus Solomon Limited, member and company treated as a separate legal entity. You try to quote this type of thing. Understood this case? Read this one's case. Don't try to remember, just try to link my story to this case. Subhash, understood? Done? Understood? You see what are the important questions. This brings us the some important questions. First one is lifting or pirating. Pirating is what? Tearing. Pirates. Or lifting. Take it out. Of corporate will possible? First question. If yes, then what are the scenarios and rules that govern the pirating of corporate will? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible to lift that corporate will where we can treat member and company as a single person. When in case whenever the person trying to defraud or commit some fraud by using the name of the company for his own advantage or to protect himself. What are the situations? There are totally 6 situations. It is given in the next page. To determine the character of the company, protect the revenue or tax. It is an important point. We will discuss that important point in the next class. Class is till 10:30, right? 11. If you are okay, we can complete that and we can leave. Or we can discuss tomorrow also, no problem. I know the answer, sir, we'll discuss tomorrow, but I'm still asking. It's okay, we'll discuss in tomorrow's class. Thank you. Please revise. Without revision, you will not be able to cope up. First 4 classes, you should be thorough about those things. Thank you, sir. Subhash, understood? Bye bye. Okay, Subhash. Bye bye. Take care. Please revise for tomorrow's class.